Alright, hello everybody. Pretty eventful Saturday night it was for quite literally every series at Huntsville Speedway. I was gonna pick and choose which series I wanted to make videos about based on how eventful they were, but damn near every one of them were eventful, so we're gonna step right into this. I am gonna skip over the hot shot class, but I will go ahead and shout out the winner from Saturday night, and the winner is Jamie Bradford in the number 46. Chuck Mandy came P2 in the number 3, and Matthew Kent in the number 53 and P3. There's your top 3 for the hot shots. Congratulations to all 3 of you. You guys put on a great show, clean race. So we're gonna move straight on to the Buzz B main, which was won by the number 34 of Cole Johnson. Pretty eventful little Buzz B main. It took a while to get the first lap done, and you'll see what I mean here in a second if you weren't there. So first start, it gets jumped. Flagman doesn't even throw the flag, so we just bring it back around, rack them up again, try it again. Bit of contact there. 34 just kind of drives down across the 75's nose. And then they get forced 3 wide in the back there, and I've been trying to figure out what actually happened here. I have been told that it was a lockup or they touched, which I'm gonna go with lockup based on like how quickly he slows up. I don't necessarily think that was contact of any kind. The number 88 comes to a stop after that, and it's still lap 0. Caution comes out, so that restacks the field back to how they were before. Coming to the green flag once again. So this incident here brings out another caution, and still on lap 0, of course. So we're gonna analyze this little incident here, put it in slow motion here. 75 checks up for the 34 coming across his nose, and the 17 is just kind of rolling in there, unaware that the 75 had to check up because the 34 was right there. I mean, right there. 75 cut the 34 bit of slack, I'd say, and it really bit the 75 more than anybody. But no laps complete, I remind you, so everybody goes back to their original positions. 77 way up against the wall back there. Oh, speaking of the 77, drives through the 88. So we're gonna look at that. This is, and you kind of see it right here. I think he enters really shallow. This number 77 does. Kinda doesn't expect the car to go as low as it does. You see it's on the apron now, and the car isn't exactly level. Locks up the brakes once they realize they're on the apron, and then they go back up onto that cambered, and there's just nothing you can really do about it. We're gonna go back, watch it frame by frame. Once again, you can see right here, he hits that flat, and then he's still kind of like halfway on the flat, and then right here, you can see he's starting to dip down onto the flat. He's on the flat, and this does not look intentional at all. This looks like a complete accident. Locking up, you know, and then just boom. No malicious intent behind that incident at all in any circumstance. Just a little racing incident, you know. Mistakes were made kind of deal. So we're gonna move on. They got a couple laps in. So here they go. Lap 3 going green again. I'm not exactly sure if anything else happened in this race. So congrats to the number 34 of Cole Johnson for getting his first win. After the first few laps of shenanigans, it was pretty much a really uneventful race. Everybody filed out and got into their positions and kind of just rode it out from there. Everybody was where they were supposed to be, and that was that. So now that we got the Buzz B main out of the way, up next was the Sportsman class, led by the 98 of Terry Ledbetter and the number 7 of Charles Throgmorton. We're gonna watch this and pick apart the first few laps of battle they had between each other. So here they come to the zone to restart. Green flag comes out. They're side by side going into turn 1. And the 7 does a great job holding the 98 down there, not letting him get a good run off of the corner. And then the 98 does an even better job of getting back underneath the 7 and trying to get an even better run off of 3 and 4. And they just went back and forth doing the same exact thing through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, just back and forth, back and forth. You see here just the 98 would gain some ground in 3 and 4. They'd touch a little bit, and then going into 1 and 2, the 7 would pull back ahead. So here, the 7 and the 98 come out of 3 and 4, they touch a little bit, and I'm hard pressed to say that the spin was caused by a bit of contact. But I mean, they were touching so much that it's arguably just hard racing. I think the 98 was just trying to get the car rotated and over-rotated a bit. Just hard racing. And coming to the choose cone here, everybody really just decided to take the inside line. The 64 wanted to gamble, decided to take the outside line. I thought that was really interesting. Just wanted to go and do something different from everybody else, and I honestly don't blame him. So here they come to the restart zone. Flagman waves a green flag. 64 doesn't quite get the restart he was hoping for, and he just tries to slot in front of the number 5. That gives the 7 time to pull away from the 5, and that kind of puts everybody at bay for a moment. And the 98 has to go to work to try and make it back to the front, and he's got a long way to go. Here, the number 98 was finally able to make a pass on the inside for P4, making his way through the field, trying to get back up there where he was at the beginning of the race, battling with the number 7. Ultimately, the 98 came up short, didn't have enough to catch the number 5 or the number 7. And honestly, I think if he just didn't have that spin and get sent to the back in the beginning, he would have been competing for the win almost all race. Anyways, I'd like to show this clip of what Charles Throgmorton had to say about Huntsville Speedway. This is really awesome of him. I mean, seriously.
Follow me down here to this world's fastest sports track down here in Rocket Stadium. It's just a blast place on earth to race. And I just encourage everyone that's watching this to load your cars up. Come to Huntsville Speedway. I don't care how far you got to drive. This place is a class act.
So now we got pure stock up. The race was rather interesting. There was a bit of racing here and there. I mean, 7 was really just dominant. When it came to drama, there was no shortage of it, and it all came at the end on the very last lap. So we're gonna take a peek at some of the racing action, and then we're gonna analyze that very last incident. So off rip, it got pretty interesting. The number 32 immediately lost power on the start. Power came back on the backstretch though, lost about 3 or 4 positions, I believe, in the process. And the number 32 essentially just had to spin the whole race trying to claw back all the positions he lost on the start. And the 38 and the 27 just kept beating and banging. I mean, the 38 just kept trying to get past the 27. I wasn't quite sure who was faster, but in the long run, it was the 38. The 38 ended up making the pass on the 27. As you can see now, they're all lined up 1, 2, and 3. Of course, 38 is not P1, number 7 is P1, running away with it right now, but these 3 are going to get into it a little bit. The number 32, of course, trying to make up all those positions he lost at the start of the race, right there on the rear of the 27. And then you see they just keep accordion, kind of like accordion stacking, and that's the best way I can explain it. I'm actually going to go back and look at this in slow motion to show you kind of just how that accordion effects really works. So you can see the 38 gets a little sideways on entry, the 97 drives in there as well. The 32 is on the bumper of the 27, sorry, and almost hits the 38. Think of it as like an accordion effect. It's really hard to say, but That's a good example of it right there. 32 just keeps trying to move that 27 up out of the groove. Flags in the air. All bets are off. Number 7's coming to take the checkered flag. And then the 27 leaves a lane on the bottom, and the 32 absolutely takes it. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right here because something after this happens, and this is something I never thought I would see in real life. It's something I've only ever seen in iRacing. Two people absolutely want to finish the race, and they gas it up, and the cars are stuck together. And unfortunate bystanders get caught up in it. So I'm really torn on who's actually at fault or what actually happened. So we're gonna go over this. Coming to the white flag, 32 tries to move the 27, not able to make it work. See, the 32 is a little bit faster in the mid corner area. 27 leaves a gap on the bottom of the track. And the 32 takes it. I mean, he did leave the door open. It's the final lap. But they both wanted to finish the race, of course, and it led to that. So the Buzz A main, they put on an absolute barn burner. It was just an absolute show. I have nothing else to say. We're just going to go over everything pretty much. There was a lot happening. I hit the restart zone. Green flag comes out. And they're side by side going into turn 1. Nobody's budging. What I really want to look at here is the 51 starts using the top. And just how well the 51 makes the top work. And honestly, if you can make the top work here, it's pretty impressive. As you see, the 97 has a bit of a self-spin. Coming back to the green flag, see the 5 gets a pretty decent restart. 46 gets kind of bogged down on the outside there. Everybody's getting loose going into turn 1. Now we watch the 51 again go to work on that top lane. And honestly, if you can make the top lane work at Huntsville in any car, you're going to be fast. Makes a couple passes for position up there on the top line. And then now the 3 fastest cars are under a blanket. And here, I thought the 28 had a problem, but it appears that the 97 came to a stop on the apron. And the 28 seen it and assumed, I guess, that the caution was coming out, and he was absolutely right. So now here they come to the restart zone. 5 chose the inside, 51 chose the outside, 256 behind the 5, 46 behind the 51. Green flag's out. 256 drives it in there, gets the 5 a little loose, but if you do notice, the 256's front end is bucking, so I would say he's trying to keep off of the rear end of the 5. 5's able to save it though. Still a little loose there on exit, able to save it once again. See that little bobble. 51 making that top line work. That is super, super impressive. That car is something else. 5 gets a big run on the backstretch, gets to the bump of the 256. Going into T1. They stay off of each other's bumper. Really clean through there. Really close though. Going here, it looks like they touch a little bit. Knocks them out of the groove. I don't think they touch necessarily. Side by side going into turn 1. Don't touch at all. Just some clean racing. Onto the backstretch, able to complete the pass. Slides up in front of the 256 to cement the position. You see the 256 just gets a little bit tighter before the 5 on exit there. The 51 gets right to the bumper of the 256. Something happened in that corner, not quite sure what. Going on the backstretch, he has a problem. Something catches on fire, huge ball of fire from underneath the car. 51 gets into him a little bit. 256 is able to bring it around the apron and get out of the car. Thankfully he was okay. Nobody was hurt. I just love this. This is pure emotion. It just sucks because they were putting on an absolute show. You just hate to see it. Comes over to the number 5. Gives him a fist bump. I assume tells him something about that was some good racing, because it really was. It was some amazing, amazing racing. Hate that for those guys. Really fast car. But coming back to the green flag. Get about 5-6 more laps to go. Coming to the zone. Green flag is out. I was a little bit ahead of the 51 going into turn 1. That 51's been able to make that top line work all race. 5 slides up in front of the 51. Not quite able to slide up all the way. 51 still trying to make that top line work. 2 laps left in the race. 51 just has used up all of his stuff trying to get from the back. Was able to get from the back to the front and just didn't have enough to make the pass for the lead. So number 5 pretty much has this all in the bag, and that was your winner. Number 51 came P2 with the number 46 and P3. Congratulations to the number 5 team, Roger Fields, getting another win, dominating so far. And the Buzzman putting on a show as well with the number 256. So on to the next class. So I'm gonna preface the open wheel segment with, I'm sorry that I have to skim over you guys, but a lot of people don't really like your class because it's single file racing, and I have a feeling that it's a product of the rules that we have, you know, sending the spinner to the back, the spinner and the spinnee, and whatnot. And you know, late models, I'm talking to you guys too. I love both of those classes. They put on amazing shows at a lot of other racetracks, and I just can't for the life of me understand why they just can't do the same here. A lot of it comes with John Thomas being in the field, but John Thomas wasn't a factor, surprisingly, during the Wheeling race. He actually had an issue around lap 25. So the number 58 of Will Brown ended up bringing it home P1 after duking it out with the number 56 of Craig Bale. And I did skip over the Superstock race. It was rather uneventful as well. Nothing much really happened. The winner of the Superstock race was Jimmy Cree, and Gary Cooper came P2, Ron Bailey P3. The 34 and the 318 had a little bit of a fight going on, but other than that, nothing really happened. So yeah, the last few races are a bit of a non-factor, and I hate that the modifieds and late models are always a bit of a non-factor at the end of the night. I know that they're capable of putting on a really good show at Huntsville Speedway. It just needs to happen, man. Something needs to happen. And like I said, I think it's partially due to the rules that we have for the spinner and the spinney going to the back. It kind of keeps you from wanting to push too hard, or, you know, try and move somebody out of the groove. And I understand not spinning to win, but I mean, being scared to push your car, and I don't know, it just, the rules are kind of weird when it comes to the modifieds and the late models. It works for other series, for the Buzz and all those other series. I think it works great for those series, but when it comes to the late models and modifieds, I'm not 100% sure how towards creating a good racing product. Anyways, I hate that I had to skim over the last 2 classes. You guys put on a show too. Everybody put on a show. This was some of the best night of racing I think I've seen at the Speedway in a minute. So I will see you guys Saturday, and I'm sorry this video was so long. Like I said, I wanted to look over almost everything, and I started this last night, so sorry if I sounded tired in the beginning of this. I literally started this video at like 11 o'clock Saturday night after I got home, and I'm working on it into Sunday, so it's a lot. It was 2 hours of footage I had to cut down. I made it an hour's worth of footage, and then I had to commentate over that hour's worth of footage, and now I'm cutting it down, so it is certainly a lot. But shout out to the modified guys. You guys, I know you guys could put on a show. I just have a feeling that it's the track rules that hold some people back from wanting to push more. That's just my hot take. Of course, like I said, I'm not a racer. I don't know if these rules discourage drivers from wanting to push more, or whatnot. I do like that we discourage spinning people and wrecking people, but it's just, I don't know, the rules, it seems like sometimes the rules kind of interfere with the racing we see in the higher horsepower cars, late models, and the modifieds. Then again, it could always come down to setup. You know, that's a long road to go down to chase the number 47 of John Thomas. So, but I will see you guys at the track this weekend once again. Looking forward to it. Hopefully I'll get some driver interviews. If anything does happen, I'll be able to get the driver's point of view straight away. Of course, if they're okay with it. I don't want to bother any drivers and, you know, while they're upset and whatnot. But that is the best time to get some of the best answers about what happened. So we're going to see how it goes and whatnot, and see you guys at the racetrack.